Big thanks to our sponsors who made this season of our membership meetings possible. So let's give them a big thank you. We want to thank Wintrust Bank. We want to thank People's Gas, Bear Pro Paint, Hilco Redevelopment Partners, ComEd, and as a bronze sponsor for today, GSG Consultants. All right, so now we'll begin with our member presenters. We are going to first start with the team for Cook County. We have both Earl Manning and Bliqis Jacobs L. They're with the Department of Capital Planning and Policy, as well as the Facilities Management. So
I will start off. My name is Belinda Henderson. I am the Executive Assistant to the Director of Facilities, Bliqis Jacobs L. She will be the first presenter in our presentation today. If you can, Christina, if you can please put up the first slide. And then if you can go to the second slide, and if Bliqis, you can please start the presentation.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Bliqis Jacobs L. I'm the Director of Facilities for Cook County. We are so grateful to join you today under the leadership of our Cook County Board President, Tony Preckwinkle. Yes, we are off today, but we found it extremely important to join this platform to share the opportunities, the contracting opportunities that Cook County has available. So today you'll hear from myself with the Facilities Management Department, and we'll give a brief overview of our contract opportunities. You'll also hear from Capital Planning. The director is Earl Manning. He's on with us today. He will share the opportunities within Capital Planning. And then if you have any questions, we'll have hopefully some time for that. Thank you.
If you can move to the next slide, please.
So with the Facilities Management, we'll have myself, Bliqis Jacobs L, the Director, Belinda Henderson, Executive Assistant, Donna Rusin. It says Danuta, but we lovingly call Donna. Donna Rusin, our Business Manager. Capital Planning and Policy, we have Earl Manning, the Director. And Contract Compliance, we have Edward, who we call Eddie Olivieri, with our Director in Contract Compliance.
Next slide.
So overall, in the Department of Facilities Management, our mission is to provide a safe, reliable, and clean environment conducive and supportive to carrying out the business and services of Cook County. Upon completion of this presentation, this whole presentation will be presented and provided to HACIA and its members to please go ahead and click the link you see here in this presentation to view our contracts and amendments. The Department of Facilities Management at Cook County oversees approximately 12 million square feet of property, but this does not include the health department, the Cook County Health Group, or the Forest Preserve. Below you see some of our properties that we maintain, and one of the big changes that we'll have in FY21 is taking over management of the Oak Forest campus. That's a very large campus. It was previously managed by CCH, the Cook County Health Group, but we will take over management of that beginning in December. So that will substantially increase our square footage. But as you can see, the properties that we maintain are not just within the Chicago city limits. You see we're out in the municipalities. We're at Bridgeview, Maywood, Skokie, Markham, and the properties vary. The types of properties that we maintain vary. So we have the detainment centers, like the Cook County Jail. The entire Cook County Jail complex is within our purview, as well as the Juvenile Temporary Detention Center. And those properties are within the Chicago city limits. But again, we do maintain several properties outside of Chicago. So when bidding on work within the Facilities Management Department, we do want everyone to be cognizant of the fact that the properties are not all within the city of Chicago. There will be supplies and services needed out in the municipalities, and there's several of them. Next slide. So in facilities management, beyond our personnel costs, which is in most entities, the major portion of the budget is personnel costs. Beyond that is our supplies and services. So approximately 7.3 million. So there are 500 employees within facilities management. We are the largest department under Tony Preckwinkle at Cook County Board and the Board of Commissioners. And with these 500 employees, there's 19 different unions. So we need tons of different types of supplies and equipment and material for them to carry out the work that they do. The majority of their work is in-house. We don't farm out a lot of our work, but there are specialties that we have to farm out. So you'll see elevator maintenance. We have to seek outside services for that. But with our union trades, we try to do as much work in-house, and again, they need supplies and services. So if you think of any trade, we have glaziers, carpenters, electricians, iron workers, tinsmiths, everything you can think of. So they need supplies and materials to do the service jobs, that the duties that they have to complete for the county. But beyond that, when you look at the list of service and supplies here, you see waste removal, overhead door services, that's the dock doors, pest control, landscaping, HVAC controls. We also have operating engineers, but we have services that are required beyond their in-house services. And again, on the supply side, you see paint and supplies, rock salt and de-icer, filters. And this is just a tiny, tiny snippet of the overall needs of our department. We have over 100 contracts in supplies and services, so there's tons of opportunity. And when you see the 7.3 million, that's just within our department. To be clear, the dollar amount is more than that. That's just within our budget. The reason why I say the dollar amount is more than that is because we partner with capital planning to perform renovation projects. So that's additional services and supplies that we need. And that increases that 7 million to a good bit over. Also, there's now CRF funds, the CARES Act funds that was provided to do work in response to COVID. That's another opportunity. So there's tons of more opportunity beyond this 7.3 million for our local vendors to be able to bid and be a part of the contracts at the county. When you receive this presentation, please, what you see below the picture, it says sample services contracts and sample supply contracts in blue. It's in light blue at the bottom of your screen. Please click on those links so you have the opportunity to view a sample of our contracts, the locations. We always provide the locations so no one's blindsided on where the services would need to be. And also use these terms like landscaping, waste removal, filters, when you're doing your searches so that you can pinpoint the type of service you want to look at and not look at the whole, list of contracts. You can pinpoint what you're looking for. Use these words as search titles. Okay, next slide. So our contracting opportunities, please check our website for our annual buying plan. Our annual buying plan lists upcoming bidding opportunities. So you would be the first to see them if you check our website. The buying plan lists opportunities for the coming year. Our countywide buying plan for FY21 will be released soon. So our current contract opportunities, you want to click here, contract opportunity page. So again, you will be provided with this presentation. You can literally just click there and you can have the opportunity to view that. Sign up in the OCPO, the Office of the Chief Procurement Office vendor database to receive notifications. That way you don't have to search for the opportunities, they'll come to you and pop up on your screen. This is huge. The information will pop up to you and you'll have the opportunity to see whether you can be a part of it or not. Okay, and then awarded contracts. Review our awarded contracts and amendments. And I say that because you can get an idea of the expectation. So if you click on this link and you are interested in, I'll say pest control, you can see exactly what facilities you would have to provide services at. You could see the current contract amount, so you can see what the previous awarded vendor bid. You can see the scope of services. So you can see all of that ahead of us even putting it out. And guess what? Usually because we are dealing with buildings, the scopes don't change that much. So you're basically getting a sneak peek into exactly what you will be asked for ahead of time. So please take the opportunity to click on awarded contracts, see what you want to, what matches your expertise, find that, look at those, and you'll be ahead of the game. Okay, next slide. So this is just a quick way, I'll be brief, for you to access the awarded contracts, visit www.cookcountyil.gov/procurement. Choose procurement data and information from the menu on the right. We have it blocked in red. And then choose awarded contracts and amendments from the menu, also blocked in red. So we want to be very clear about that because that really is helpful. Thank you. Next slide. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Donna Rusin, our business manager, to briefly go over some of our upcoming opportunities.
Thank you, Bliqis. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So just to drill down a little bit, what Bliqis had mentioned earlier and echo on the opportunities that are upcoming. The next couple of slides will show the first quarter, second quarter upcoming opportunities that DFM has. As noted, with what Bliqis had mentioned, we have provided on this slide, if you see the link to the current contract column, the links will take you to the current contract, and you can take a look at the current contract, the vendor, the pricing, the scope, the specifications, how the forms were completed. So this is an excellent opportunity for folks that are interested in bidding and can provide some of the upcoming services and supplies that we need. Take a look at this slide. It will feature an enormous amount of information as to what DFM is needing in the upcoming first and second quarters. So just to go over quickly, we are looking for asbestos supplies. A brief description will show you the Tyvek suits. I know with COVID, a lot of our trade staff and operation staff needed hazmat suits. So this contract is very important to our operations and trades folks in terms of supplies that they need for the different facilities. Asbestos lab analysis. Once again, take a look at the current contract. Like Bliqis had mentioned, most of the time our scope is fairly similar. What was needed currently is what will be needed for the new contract. Another contract that is coming up fairly soon is the landscaping services. This is for both within the city limits and the suburban areas. So be mindful in terms of wanting to submit a bid. We do have that separated by regions, central, north, and south. So do take a look at the current contract. And if you're interested in bidding, please register as a vendor and that opportunity will come up and you'll be notified via email. Two other big opportunities we have are plumbing supplies. Those will be coming out very soon. Both of these contracts are used heavily for our plumbing staff. Next slide. And just some of the other opportunities that are coming up that are hitting in first quarter are filters, janitorial supplies, especially with everything happening with COVID. This contract will be utilized quite a bit. And we have put together some new items onto the janitorial supply. So most of the items that are on this current contract will still be intact, but we have included some new EPA list and approved disinfectants that need to be that are needed for handling COVID. Other things to look for: paint supplies, electrical supplies that we have coming up. We also have our elevator maintenance contract. So that is another big contract for DFM. If you're interested in bidding, please take a look at how the current contract is set up. That too includes the DFM city and suburban locations along with the hospitals. Next slide. And now I'd like to turn it over to Earl Manning. He's the Director of Capital Planning and Policy, and he'll go over what that department does. Earl?
Good morning, Donna, and thank you. And thank you, Bliqis. And also, I'd like to speak for the opportunity to present today. we've been wanting this outreach for such a long time, so I'm glad we're able to do this. The Department of Capital Planning is responsible for capital construction projects throughout all county departments and elected officials. What we do, we've outlined in these bullet points. We're in the midst right now of presented to the Board of Commissioners, and if accepted and approved, that is our roadmap and outlines the types of projects we are hoping to move forward with. We also direct redevelopment projects for 3 different portfolios within the county, which is the county health and hospital portfolio, the public safety portfolio, and the county corporate campus. And I will go into a little more detail later on in this presentation. And finally, we manage professional services and construction contracts. Next slide. Both facilities and we have real estate and capital fall under the Bureau of Asset Management. And we were created probably around 2014 because it actually deals with the assets of all county properties. The 3 departments that make up the Bureau of Asset Management are real estate, and their responsibility is most to develop and acquire and dispose and replace any properties. Then we move into capital planning, where we plan, design, and construct. And once we have completed the construction, renovation of any of our facilities, we then turn that over to facilities, which manages, and you heard earlier about what the services that they provide. There are over 210 unique properties within these 3 portfolios, which encompasses about 19 million square feet. If we look a little deeper into each of the portfolios, the health and hospitals is the 2nd largest public health system in the county. It's about 4.9 million square feet, encompasses 3 hospital campuses and other services as listed. The public safety is the 2nd largest unified court system in the world and the 1st largest single cell site in the county. About 11.5 million square feet. It encompasses the Department of Corrections, Correctional Health, 14 courthouses, and the Juvenile Temporary Detention System. And earlier you heard Bliqis outline what services she needs and her department handles in that portfolio. And then our 3rd portfolio is the corporate facilities, which is about 2.7 million square feet, 3 downtown offices, and 3 warehouses. The reason I wanted to explain this is because our capital program encompasses all 3 of these portfolios and provides opportunities in all of these areas. Next slide, please. In 2020, when we submitted our CIP, our capital improvement program to the Board of Commissioners, we were granted $283 million. And it was split between the 3 portfolios that I outlined, as you can see on the screen. We set up our projects into 4 different categories. If you look at the bottom on the right: redevelopment and demolition, capital maintenance and renewals, energy and ADA and life safety. And the dollars were allocated to each of those categories accordingly. And that's how we present our program to the Board of Commissioners. Next slide, please. Our 2020 major CIP projects, and many of them will carry over into 2021, and some are in the design phase and some will be moving into construction, and meaning that there's opportunities up and coming. As we look at, we worked with the county and the president's office, and you'll find that there's a policy roadmap, and that really outlines how we're bringing services to the residents of Cook County. And 4 categories that we fall under in the capital improvement program fall under our smart communities, healthy communities, safe and thriving communities, and sustainable communities. And within those, in the 20 CIP, we are planning the renovation and consolidation of county buildings. That's at 118. The 69 West Washington, we are working on restacking that building. And most of those facilities have not seen this level of major renovation in years. And the last bullet point that's important, especially for our design team group out there, is that we want you to look at the work strategy and design guidelines that we have posted on our website. That helps drive how we are going to move forward in the next few years of the renovation work we are planning at these facilities. If we look at healthy communities, the Provident campus, there's over $200 million that we're going to invest into that campus. Maintaining the existing facility as we look towards the future of what Provident campus would look like. And at the Stroger Hospital, we're undertaking an assessment of all of the mechanical MEP systems there. That facility is about 25 years old. The facilities group from the, which is called the Buildings and Ground group at the hospital, has done all they can to maintain most of that equipment. So right now we have a team that's assessing that equipment and putting together several design packages that we hope will be released sometime in the second quarter of 21, where we will need contractors to come in and help replace most of that equipment. The tricky part is that the hospital will continue to operate, so that will be an interesting opportunity. And we're also looking at providing a facilities master plan, working with the hospital so we can determine where we can start building or renovating community-based health centers in the upcoming years. As we look at safe and thriving and you look at the public safety portfolio, we are looking at the demolition of 1N1A, which is soon to start, and we're in the midst of a DLC campus master plan. Many of those buildings also have been with like additional improvements made to them so that they can continue to provide the necessary services so that we can properly and continue to enhance the life of our detainees and the operation on that campus. And as we look at our sustainable communities, this is also very important. This is important so we can reduce our overall operating costs. So you're going to see countywide solar installations. We're about to embark on a huge life safety and ADA assessment and renovation to many of our facilities. And obviously we want to go into gender neutral bathrooms, mother rooms, and continue to provide new roofs and envelope renovations to our facilities. Next slide, please. So what I wanted to show here are some of the opportunities that are coming up in 20 and 21. And we also ask that you look at the buying plan. And you'll see under each of the different portfolios of our major opportunities, this is just a snapshot of what is becoming available. We do ask that you look at our budget book, look at the buying plan, so that you can get a much more detailed understanding of what we're providing, what we need. But I'm gonna go over a few real quick. In each of our portfolios, we are going to provide some outreach opportunities very soon in December, because we need help. With the portfolio that large, we are going to have 3 opportunities for CMs in each of our portfolios. Currently, under health and hospitals and public safety, we have consultants working with us. I am presenting to the Board of Commissioners their last year on their contract, which means at this time I have to go back to the market. We go back to the market and advertise for representatives to help us. So there'll be a CM for the corporate portfolio, health and hospitals, and public safety. Those CMs will help us integrate and implement all of the work that we need to get done with within those portfolios. And you'll see that we have, as I mentioned earlier, the renovations of both the Dunn building and the county building. One of our large projects is that we're going to go for CM at risk as we look at upgrading the boardroom for the county. We need to make that boardroom as much more accessible for ADA, for the public, and for the employees. And that's going to be a huge project for us. So that's what I wanted to just share with you guys of different opportunities. I'm working with procurement and compliance right now for a larger outreach opportunity in early December, where we will go into much more detail, both on the design, because we need some AEs to help us get our work done. And for the projects that we already have in the design phase, we want to share that with everyone so that they can have the opportunity as contractors to partner and put their teams together so we can actually get to the business of doing the work that's needed to improve our facilities. And I'd like to say thank you. In the next slide. And I'd like to turn this back to Belinda. She would like to talk about MWBE and compliance goals or Eddie. Thank you.
Good morning, all. This slide just gives you an outline of what the MBE and WBE goals are on our contracts. As you can see from this slide, for our goods and services, we have a 25% MBE and a 10% WBE. For construction, it's 24% MBE and 10% WBE. For all professional service contracts, which is basically what Director Earl Manning was speaking of, they have a 35% overall goal on their contracts. Okay, if you look also at the bottom of this page, you will see there are 2 links that you will be able to click on to obtain the information for our currently certified MBE, WBE vendors. And then also you will have a link for the regular contract compliance website, which is where vendors will be able to obtain information regarding your certifications with the county and things of that sort. Okay, next slide, please. And then that is the conclusion of our presentation. And there is a question and answer box that is on your screen. So if you should by chance happen to have a question right now that we can answer, please feel free to submit it. And then if you should think of anything once we have concluded this presentation, please feel free to reach out to me at the email address listed below. And again, we want to thank you very much for having us to participate in your outreach today.
Great. Well, thank you, Belinda, Earl, Bliqis, and Donna. I'm gonna just remind everybody, I think by now, again, because we're 8 months into this, you know that if you have a question, there is a chat component here or a way to ask questions. And so what I'm gonna do is actually ask Christina if we have any of those questions. I think we do have some. She's gonna be posting it up very quickly. So if you just give me a quick second, I think we do have a few questions. I'm going to read them out to the Cook County team. So here's question 1. Are there any subcontract opportunities under $10,000 for small contractors?
I can take that. Yes, there are. We are able to do small purchases on various items, which means that we can go directly to a small vendor and purchase whatever either supply or service we need that would come down under a $5,000 total. These items do not need to go out for bid or anything of that sort. So it is a very good way to get your foot in the door with Cook County. And we will be obtaining a list from HACIA for the participants to pass around to our trades and things of that sort so that they can reach out to you.
Gotcha. All right, here's another question. Are these opportunities all union, for example, landscaping?
The landscaping opportunities, they have the, for landscaping, it's a little bit different. I think if you have actual union labor performing it, you just need to be signatory, and that's it. You just have to be signatory. If you have different types of workers other than union labor, then you just submit your contract with your overall cost. But if they are laborers and they're associated with you, and you have to at least be signatory.
Okay, thanks, Bliqis. Next question here. Which agency certifications do you recognize?
Well, we recognize the city of Chicago and Cook County. They are both interchangeable. Those are the only ones that Cook County currently accepts, but I would suggest to all small vendors, and I'm bringing this to you as previously being a small vendor myself, I would suggest that you get certified with every possible agency there because they will always be of use to you.
Okay. All right, we got a question regarding professional services. Do you need to be pre-qualified to bid on professional service opportunities?
The answer is no. We will provide opportunities for our pre-qualified pool, but there are some times when we actually go out to the open market, because once I started with the county, I understood that many firms did not have an opportunity to get on the pre-qualified list. And we are preparing a new pre-qualified opportunity with the Office of Procurement. So in order to make sure that everyone has an opportunity, we're going to go out to the open market for some of our services. Hope that helps you.
Yep. Thank you, Earl. All right, so is there opportunities for architects?
Absolutely, especially if you're good at ADA and you understand renovation projects as we look at restacking. Again, I would encourage the AEs to look at our 2020 budget line. It's on a budget, it's online, and also encourage everyone that's interested to attend the December event, which will have a lot more information regarding that.
Very good.
I
Okay.
also want to, I just want to emphasize something that's important to the county. Earlier, you saw the slide on the MWBE program, and we were fortunate in 2020 to have exceeded those minimum goals. It is our goal to make sure that we diversify our opportunities as much as we can. It's one of the reasons we are here today, is because we want members from your organization that are part of HACIA to take advantage of the opportunities that the county is bringing. And this is very, very important to us. So please take advantage of what we're saying and outreach and reach out to us, because it is the time to make sure that we level the playing field. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Earl. So another question, do GCs or subs require bonding?
Yes, that's something that you will look at each solicitation, and those requirements will be outlined.
Gotcha. All right. And this is our last question. How does the bid awarding process work?
It varies depending on what type of services that we are providing. Typically, we will put out a solicitation. People will respond to that solicitation. It is evaluated through the procurement process. While we have a solicitation out on the street, I must caution, we cannot talk about it. That's why at this point in time, the outreach opportunities are important, so that you can gather as much information as you can. Once the bids are received, an evaluation committee reviews the solicitations and provides a recommendation. That recommendation is then vetted, and then it is presented to the Board of Commissioners when all the paperwork is completed. We present that to the Board of Commissioners, it is approved, and then we have a contract to get started. I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. Any other questions, Chris? All right. So with that, so then just as a reminder, everybody who's watching this, December is a big critical time frame for understanding a little bit more about facilities management and capital planning at the county. And so we'll definitely look forward to spreading the word on that as well, Earl, and getting our members involved in that as well. It's really exciting that there's a lot of good opportunities coming up through the county. And you know, a lot of the stuff is the vertical construction and stuff that not that the horizontal or vertical people compete on any of this stuff, but that in terms of what we have to spotlight, we want to make sure that there's opportunities for all members and all across all different disciplines here at HACIA. So I want to thank you, Earl Manning, thank you, Bliqis, and Belinda, as well as Donna for joining us this morning. I think Eddie is on as well, so I appreciate your time as well, and feel free to stick around